I understand player development, and this would be a different conversation for me if the Mets said Jet Williams is up this year and we're going to ride it out with Jet Williams, or Drew Gilbert has been hot for a year in the minors and Drew Gilbert's going to be our center fielder. But we have seen a lot of Brett Beatty. We I'm not going to write him off, but I think the Mets are telling you what they think Luis Angel Acuna is, right? I think there's part of the Mets that they don't truly know what Brett Beatty fully is yet. They have an idea, but when he has those weak stretches that he gets hot, they buy into the hope again. Mark Vientos has a full season last year and a massive playoffs to stand on, where I'm not giving up on Mark Vientos yet. I just don't think he can play third base, which is a whole nother problem, which brings it back to the DH conversation. Ronnie Mauricio really isn't supposed to be here coming off the injury that he had. As you've pointed out many times, Joe, that was just a tight spot for the Mets where they were kind of forced to bring him here. But the revolving door at third base, and this was a large combo on last week's show, they need a floor at third base right now. And I don't think the floor at third base is on this team. I really don't. Because even if Vientos comes back and hits, which I really think he can, I don't know if it's going to happen immediately, but I think there's a point in July where Mark Vientos gets his feet back under him and we go, okay, Mark Vientos might not replicate what he did last year, but he's going to contribute offensively better than a lot of guys in the bottom four spots in this lineup have. But they need a floor at third base, and that includes defense, and they don't have it right now. I'm pretty confident that not only are the Mets going to get Winker back and Vientos back, where you can go get a DH at the deadline, but they're getting their guys back. This team needs some kind of floor at third base, Joe, and it's not on the roster. I will continue to say it. The Mets' goal this year should be to win a World Series. And if they appear in a National League Championship Series again, one of Brett Beatty, Luis Angel Acuna, Ronnie Mauricio, and Mark Vientos are not out there in the first inning of the first game playing third base. There's no way.
So here's the conundrum a little bit, because I don't want to push everything out to the end of July and into August and into September. We got to get there first. So
Right.
how do we get from today to July 31st, where, maybe someone establishes themselves over the next month and change? But I mean, Brett Beatty's hitting 145 with a 468 OPS in June. Like, that's just literally unplayable. Defensively,
Yeah, it's Jared Young numbers.
Yeah. Poor Jared Young. But defensively, Beatty's largely been fine, right? Like, a couple things here and there, but he's been perfectly fine defensively. I almost wonder, until this offense gets rolling, Connor, might you have no choice but to suck it up and hope Mark Vientos can get closer to the defense that he had in 2024, which was below average instead of very bad like it was so far in 2025. And then you DH Marte. Like, is that the best solution in the interim to get some run production? Because what it comes down to is the Mets are not scoring runs at any level of consistency. And once you get after the top five, which, by the way, you could tell Carlos Mendoza is getting a little frustrated by this, because he was quite frank, I think, after Monday night's game. Like, the top four, they're second in baseball in OPS. I know Pete has kind of tumbled a little bit over the last few days, and Lindor had that cold stretch, but he's had a few straight two-hit games. But between those two and Nimmo and Soto, and McNeil is not batting title McNeil, but he's OPSing 790, I think, since May 1st or something like that. So he's been perfectly fine. The problem here is 6 through 9, the Mets are getting zeros from, and they need productivity. They need floor, like you said. And it's tough. It's tough to find that balance between now and then. But I think the play might be, hey, Mark Vientos, you just got to play some better defense and find your way. Not necessarily the hitter that he was in 2024. Like, I'm not expecting him to come back and post like an 880 OPS, but come and be productive. And if you do that and then let Marte play more often, I think between now and even when Winker comes back or deadline and these things flesh themselves out a little bit, you have a chance to have a deeper, more impactful lineup.